Today we will discuss about change and change management. See, every individual, family, organization or society undergoes a change. And this change is a continuous process in fact. Sometimes they have to undertake change to improve performance, seize opportunities or address some key issues. Change management may include changes to processes, roles, behavior, living standards, organizational structures, technology, field of work, and management itself. Let us see what is the role of people in change management. It is actually the people who have to ultimately change. If they go along the change becomes effective and successful. Else, not very successful or maybe unsuccessful. If change becomes unsuccessful, management will also fail. In an organization, if employees embrace and adopt changes required by the management, most likely it will deliver the expected result. Hence, it is the people who make the change successful or unsuccessful. And then change management is the discipline that guides how to be prepared or planned, equipped, direct, motivate, and support individuals or groups to successfully adopt change in order to drive success and achieve desired results. So there are two things. One is that the success is to be achieved and desired results are to be achieved through change. Then change involves people as we have already discussed, particularly who have to move from their own current states to the changed state. And they should, if they are adopting this change, then success is there. By nature, people are resistive to change, hence conflict conditions or constraints may arise, and then particularly maybe between people and management. Let us see individual change approach. It is said that natural, psychological, and physiological reactions of human is to resist change, and it is due to scientific theory also. Let us discuss Newton's first law of motion. As we know that it states that an object will remain at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless acted upon by an external force. It means suppose a person is working, he will continue to work until a force, external force is there which is acting to stop it. Similarly, if somebody is not working, he also needs a force, otherwise he would like to remain as it is, he will not work. So that's why it is said that the force is required. It may be seen as a statement about inertia that objects will remain in their state of motion unless a force acts to change the motion. Let us consider then Newton's first law of motion again. Let us take an example of an organization. Due to inertia, as we have told that Newton's first law is depending on inertia, then everyone will remain in its state of motion. Again, I'll explain that if somebody is in a stationary mode, then it would continue in stationary mode. If somebody is in motion, it will continue in motion. That is in same state of motion. That is in the direction in which they were working unless a force acts to change the motion. It means two things. One, that if suppose somebody was working in some direction, then he would like to continue in that direction due to inertia. And then due to change, if you want to change the direction of the motion, then you will need the force, external force, and this force will change, we can change the direction of the motion. So that force is required. The inertia resists the change, as we know, we have discussed, and as such, force is essential to overcome this inertia. And the force in the management does not mean only physical force, but motivation, incentives, training, request, advice, fear, penalties, fines, physical force, everything is included in force. Let us take an example of advice of social distancing due to COVID-19 by various governments. Some people adopted it, some went out for walking even outside, some did not agree, some for went on for roaming, some for gathering, and some for resisting government directions. So what was needed to change to make a change of this? The force. Because and then this force applied was in the terms of government directions, advice, request, fear, incentives, penalties, fines, physical force, etc. So what we are saying that because of the inertia, people do not change themselves immediately, but then some force is required for changing the direction. So that is Newton's first law of motion. Then let us see what is the people's role. It is the people who make change successful or unsuccessful, as we have already discussed, though people and management may require resources, infrastructure, and time. Now, change can be described as revolutionary change and gradual change. Revolutionary change means immediate change in a very short time, and gradual change is affected in sufficiently long time. Now, which type of change we should adopt, whether we should implement, whether it should be revolutionary change or gradual change? That is the question. So, question is whether the same force is required for both type of change and time of application of the force. What is the time of application? So, as we have discussed, that revolutionary change is needed only in a very short time, and gradual change means for a long time. So let us switch over to Newton's second law of motion for the answer of this question. Second law of motion is related to the acceleration of an object and force. So the law says that acceleration of an object is produced by a net force. Net force means there is a force which is in one direction, and suppose some force is acting in opposite direction, then net force will be the difference of two. So the acceleration is directly proportional to net force and inversely proportional to the mass of the object. It means the body will have larger acceleration if the net force is large, and it will have uh, less acceleration if the mass of the object is higher. The acceleration is in the same direction as the net force. Let us see the change now. Net force means what? We have discussed that net force means force applied by individual or management in a particular direction. So that is the force, then minus the force which is acting opposite to this. It means minus force applied in opposite direction. That is, what is that minus force? It is resistance by those not aligned in the same direction as per change required. So there may be some people or some organization or some groups which are not aligned in the same direction as per the change required. And whatever force management or anybody is applying, so this force will get reduced by that opposite force or the resistance, that will be the net force. So acceleration means, what is the acceleration means? Rate of change, because change is there in velocity. So rate of change in velocity, that is acceleration with respect to particular time we see in the science or physics, that acceleration means change in velocity with respect to time. But here that we can say that the acceleration means rate of change in velocity similar to rate of change we are talking about actually will be directly proportional to the net force and inversely proportional to the mass. Mass means what here in management? Number of people, organization size, infrastructure size, etc. Now, large force is required for large establishment. We have seen that net force is proportional to acceleration, and that is also inversely proportional to mass. Acceleration is inversely proportional to mass. So, large force will be required for larger establishment. Large establishment. More the resistance, more the force required. Acceleration or growth of change required will be more if net force is higher, and less net force will be required for change in case of a small establishment, and small net force will not give more effect of change in case of large establishment because of the mass. And then the driving force in management means motivation, incentives, training, request, advice, fear, penalties, fines, physical force, etc., which is which is acting in the direction of the change required, which is aligning the change. So this we may call it driving force. And the resistance in opposite direction, that may be from unions, politicians, anti-social elements, uncertainties, and individuals and groups opposing the change. Whosoever is opposing the change, that is the resistance. So net force will be driving force minus resistance. And then let us see which revolutionary or gradual change when it is required. Let us now discuss which type of change is effective, revolutionary or gradual. Let us analyze from Newton's second law of motion itself. The net force is equal to product of mass times the acceleration. We say F is equal to ma if F is net force, m is mass, and a is the acceleration. Now, if initial velocity, if anything is going with the velocity, say u, and final velocity after time t, we want it should be v, then this 4 net force will be equal to m into v minus u by t, and v minus u by t is the acceleration. So, if we is from here, we know that f into t is equal to m into v minus u, and m into v minus u is momentum, and F into T is the net force into time. So this is main formula for determining the requirement of change. Now momentum is m into v minus u. For that we need F into T. F means net force and T means time taken. So this is the momentum. Now to have positive value of momentum, net force has to be positive. It means that management has to ensure that driving force is higher than resistive force or resistance. Otherwise, what will happen? Momentum will become negative. What it means? Momentum negative means whatever organization was going in one direction with some speed, with some velocity, and suppose resistance is higher than and this value becomes negative, it means that momentum will also be in reverse direction. It means success, there will be no success, rather this will be unsuccess or failure. So the net force has to be more than the positive, and if net force is higher, then time required to achieve the desired results of change will be less. So for even net force is higher and higher, then time taken will be less, because this is the multiplication of net force and time taken momentum. So, so we must understand that net force required is higher for TQ, or time v is small value. If net force is small, then it will take long time to achieve the desired results. Now, what should we do now? First is that we should plan and work for no resistance. It means then net force will be equal to driving force or minimum resistance. So force working in opposite direction should be minimum through communication, persuasion, incentives, fear, as the case may be. Now we should decide on time for change based on planning strategy. Whatever planning strategy has been made by the management, whatever resources are available, whatever infrastructure is available, competition and periods available for the change required, and based on all these parameters, we should decide on time. What time is available with us? Now, if time available is less, then we should have more net force. If time available is more, then we can have force, less force even. So apply driving force to take ahead the change through motivation, training, talks, seminars, support, infrastructure, involvement, inspiration, coaching, providing opportunities, enhancing capabilities, etc. And these many of these will require time. So if you have the time for change to be implemented, then we can apply this. And based on time available and resistance, design a strategy of driving force. This methodology is applicable for gradual change. Now, let us talk about the revolutionary change. Revolutionary change has to be made in very little time or short time. Now, we have seen second law of motion, F into t is equal to m into v minus u, and since t is very small, say delta t, then m is equal to v minus u. So this v velocity v is required in very less time to be achieved over u. So you don't have much of time. So what is to be done is f has to be very high, because delta t means t is very small, so f is to be very high. So it is like force required to hit a sixer in the cricket with very less time available. So then F, it means net force required is too high, very high, and time available is. Therefore, for revolutionary change, large force is required, because force into delta t, it means time is very short, that's why large force is required. And then this large force is to be made applicable when very less time slot is available for change. Large force means large resources, incentives, motivation, support, etc. In such case, no time may be available for coaching, training, seminars, etc. Even sometimes discussion. So such change has chances of being completely successful or unsuccessful, and such risk factor is very high in such case, and if successful it becomes almost 100% successful. So we have seen many times, or even this time, that number of governments have taken immediate decision to go for lockdown. So if taken in advance at the right time, then this is just a revolutionary change. Then in if we compare it to the sports, then revolutionary and gradual change, if we consider, then revolutionary change is like a race. On your mark, get set, go, or ready, steady, go. It means it does not give much time and one has to run. That's all. This is like revolutionary change, that you don't get much time. You must be on your mark, get set, and go. Gradual change is like other games where replacement of players is allowed and time available is more. So even in between you can think it, you can review it. So all these things are available. So that is like a gradual change. Revolutionary change is immediate. And if we talk about the models, then because we have seen that revolutionary change is immediate or very less time is available, so at the most this model, like 3 stage model, will be applicable for such change. And in case of gradual change, we can adopt higher stage model, that is 5 stage or 7 stage or whatever. So such type of models can be adopted for gradual change management, and for revolutionary change management only at the most 3 stage model should be applicable, that should be adopted. Thank you very much for attending. I am KM Soni, retired ADG. Thanks a lot.